you need your first colour, so your first group of Pom Poms colour. These are 100 grams, 270 metres each. So first group of 15 is 1.5 kilos. You're going to add your first Pom Pom layer. Now, when we usually do a blanket, I usually do seam, cross weave 1, cross weave 2, Pom Pom layer. On this design, it's Pom Pom layer, cross weave 1, seam, cross weave 2, Pom Pom layer. So you're kind of working back to front, if you know what I mean. So tie your first colour on to the corner nail. You're adding the Pom Pom layer, so this is the squares. Sorry if it pops every time I say Pom Pom, but anyway. Corner nail along to the next nail, up to the corresponding nail at the top. So the corresponding nail to the one it's wrapped around at the bottom, over to the next nail, back down, corresponding nail, over to the next nail, up to the top, over 2 nails. You're going to continue this pattern till you get to that side. If you've watched my tutorials before, first of all, you're a legend, and you've got to be becoming a bit of an expert by now, so you can probably skip straight to the middle layers if you're unsure, or you can just go straight ahead to the tie-in from the layer order that I gave before. So anyway, corner, when you get to your corner, you're going around the 3 nails that are in the corner. You're going to come across. So corresponding nail again, over 2. So you're going to make the same pattern going down. With this colour, you don't need to leave any of this to tie with, so you can keep going until it's gone. Mine will go 5.5 or 6 times round, so I'm just going to keep going till it runs out. So yeah, you can do the same. Pom Pom layer, 5 and a bit over half. So that's where my first ball ran out, so I just cut them all, tied it off there. Now you're going to add cross weave 1. So split your 15 into 7 and 8. You need the group of 7. Tie down to the top corner nail, over to the next nail, across diagonally, down, up diagonally, across to the next nail, down, over 2 nails, up, over 2, down, over 2. Continue to the bottom corner. When you get to your corner, you just go in around 3 nails, and then you're coming back on yourself. You're going to follow the lines you've already made. Do that again. So around 3, and then along, up, keep going until your wool runs out, 'cause you don't need to save any of this middle colour. That's cross weave 1, my first group of 7, it went around 4 times, so down, up, down, up. Now you need your next group of the same colour, so 8 white, tie onto the corner nail again, along to the next nail, straight up to the top, around these 3 in the corner. This is the seam you are creating now. Around to these 3 in this corner, down around those 3, back to where you started, So take your seam around twice. That's what your seam looks like. So the next step, when you come back with your seam, you can just make the triangle. So and then start your cross weave 2 pattern going in the opposite direction. If you're unsure, just cut it off after your seam, tie it back on to that top corner and make cross weave 2 in exactly the same way as we did cross weave 1. So cross weave 2 added, that was 3.5 times. So I have got bits of each colour left. So I'm going to use these to tie. Now you need your next group, your last pom-pom colour. You're going to take all of them, all 15, and you're going to add it to the frame in exactly the same way that you added your first pom-pom layer. Second pom-pom colour. I've already started tying it, so it's tied exactly the same way as my other blankets. You're tying all 3 of the colours together, so all 3 cross sections all the way through to the back. When it's all tied, you're ready to cut your pom-poms. So, same as the other design, the original design, the one colour, you're cutting all your horizontals and all your verticals, but you are cutting both colours. So you've got your blue and then I've got my pink. So I'm just cutting straight through them both at the same time. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't feel confident, cut this side, turn the frame, cut the other side. Now, where your seam is, the same as all your other designs, you need to separate the first colour from the seam so that you don't cut through the seam. So, and then I would cut that, and then you turn the frame and do the same on the other side. So the seam is your edge that runs all the way around. So you need to separate it everywhere and leave the seam intact. These edges, we're just cutting off. If you leave these on, that's what colour tassels you will have on this side. If you cut them off, your middle layers create your tassels. Right, so I've cut all my horizontals and all my verticals. The knot is in the centre of each pom-pom. I've cut all the way through to the back, so I've cut the pink side as well at the same time. But my seam is still intact all along the edge. And what I need to do now is turn the board so I can cut my seam on the other side. This is the frame turned, that's the other side. This is what I need to cut on this side. So I need to separate the pink from the white and just cut the pink and not the white. All of the white is what's keeping the blanket together. We don't cut any of the white, so whatever colour your middle layers are, we don't cut them. These edges I cut from the other side, just cut straight through. But if you don't feel confident, you can cut all of the blue side, turn the board, cut all of your pink side. I've cut all of the edges now, and I just need to turn it around again and remove it from the frame. Turned again. To take it off the frame, we just cut in between every single nail or screw, countersunk screws, all the way around. So your corners, you still snip your corner there and there, but leave the corners until last. Snip all the way around, it will come off the frame.